Hello, this is Survival-gyver, and today we're talking about more of a channel update of sorts instead of a regular review. About 2 years ago, I'm going to lower the light here a little bit, um, I used to do book reviews. And those are doing pretty well. I mean, the books never were popular in views. But there are certain people that wanted information about a certain topic. It would show up on Google search, and it would show them my review, what I thought of the book, with snippets of what's inside. And then they would reach out to me and talk to me about it, which is fine. That's fine. I like that. That's awesome. People are just trying to expand their minds without drugs. So 2 years ago or so, I got a cease and desist letter from a publisher. And the publisher said, you cannot use any of our books for your reviews. Which is weird because I liked the book and I was showing it off. And so I got a cease and desist letter. I reached out back to the publisher. Never heard a response back from them. I reached out to the author, and the author said, yes, absolutely. Show the video, about my book. You have my permission. And then I got another letter in the mail. Still, they won't talk to me, but they'll send me certified mail. Cease and desist, final warning, or there's going to be a lawsuit of some sort. No idea why. They never really explained it, other than I didn't have their permission to reproduce their products. Even though the author says I can. So I don't know who's right in this. But I don't know how to explain this, but there's about 75 books here on this bed. I don't have any place that's big enough to show you all of my books in one place. And this is only like a third of my books. They're reference books. So if I need, I had to deal with Trenchfoot a few weeks ago. Excellent book. Absolutely excellent book. Highly recommend everybody have one. It's an expensive book. But if you find it on sale somewhere, get it. Excellent book. All right. But I also want to know more about the area around me. I've been in North Carolina for 10 years. And I moved about 5 years ago to where I am now, which is in the middle of nowhere. And so there are some things I want to know. Like, I picked up the North Carolina Nature Set field guide of birds and flowers and other animals and such, because I want to know more about the areas around me. I also picked up Sam Thayer's field guide to edible wild plants of Eastern and Central North America. So, also good book. But a lot of this here is some more generic stuff and other interests that I've had, whether it be prepping or just being able to protect myself in an emergency or severe weather or whatever the issue might be. I might be able to solve it with the information I have. So the more information I have, the better. Knowledge is power, right? So every book, with one exception, that's the only one, the Survival Medicine Handbook, is the only one. From my point of view, I'm like way over the edge of the bed here. From my point of view, this is the only book I have not gotten permission to, attempted to get permission for. Every book on here, I have contacted every publisher and every author, and I've gotten a response from 3 authors and no publishers in a year and a half since I started this. So I've tried email, I've tried snail mail, I've tried certified letter. I've had one respond that they only will accept my questionnaire, asking for permission to reproduce the video and to review one of their books by fax. I had to find somebody that still had a fax machine that worked. So until then, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to keep that one that gave me the cease and desist publisher out. I have like 8 books by them, which sucks because some of them are really good. Some of them are actually really new within the last year or so. So we're going to go over just quick look. I'm going to, pretty much everything that's in the front here, I'm going to stack more books on top of. Just to give you a basic idea of what we're going to be reviewing. I haven't decided if it's going to be weekly, like I used to do, every Thursday, or every other Thursday. The reason for that is, well, life. Real life is a problem. I don't necessarily have the time to do all these videos, especially the really long ones. And I know you guys don't really like the long ones, but there's a lot of information out there. But I want to at least leave you with two quotes, just two quotes, by some famous authors, well, famous people anyway, that'll give you a good idea of why I want to go back to doing these reviews. The first one is this: a mind needs books as a sword needs a whetstone, if it is to keep its edge. Anybody guess who that is? It's a fantasy writer, George R.R. Martin. Now the next one is very different. Now my thing is knowledge is power. The more you know, the better your chance of you choosing the right decision in case of something bad going on. But this is a great one that I absolutely love. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. All right? Anybody guess who that is? Anyone? Nelson Mandela. So, with education, with knowledge, you're arming yourself with an invisible... How do I put this? You're arming yourself with an invisible weapon that you can use to make your life better, make other people's life more miserable, help them, make yours worse. You can change a lot about your world with a good amount of knowledge. All right? So if I'm stuck in the middle of the woods, and I've read this book and that book, and I've read most, I think I've read about 90% of these from front to back. And I also have some of them on audiobook. There's one that's back there you can't see, but I'll show you in a moment. I have an audiobook. Because I just I could listen to it on my 2 to 3 hour drive to work and 3 hour drive home from work, and then if I have any questions, I can go back to the book and check it all that way. So first things first, these 2 and 2, really, really good book series. There's like 17 books in that series. I only own 4 of them. And a little on the expensive side, and we need to talk about something else on the inside. Like I use a magnifying glass on those as a bookmark because the print is really, really small. And we'll discuss that shortly. All right? So, first off, again, excellent book. Absolutely excellent book. All right, the Survival Medicine Handbook. It is literally a huge book. And talk about burial practices, lightning safety, earthquake survival, foreign objects in the eye. I mean, it's pretty gross. Chronic lung disease. Talks about the pancreas, acid reflux, constipation, poisoning, hemorrhoids. It's all in here. There's stuff in here for children. There's bears, allergic reactions, anaphylaxis, hemorrhaging control. That is a good book. All right. Next up, you'll notice that some of these are from not quite secondhand stores, but they're like clearance items. Like you'll see the ones with the orange tags on them are from Ollie's, which is like an overstock or clearance store. So you get really good deals on some books that a company was going out of business or changing their business practices. They were getting rid of a whole bunch of old books, and they would get rid of them for like pennies on the dollar, and then they'd sell us back to a really good deal. So there's quite a few of those. Now this one here, Make Your Garden Grow, another really big book, and we're going to be talking about this. All right? You would expect this book to be, I don't know, $50. I think the Survival Medicine one is around that price. But you can sometimes get it on sale. I got that one on sale. $8.49. MSRP is $50. This is from BJ's. They had it on their rack with the rest of their books. I'm like, ooh, they only had 2 of them. grabbed the one because it's an excellent price. And, you know, I'm trying to grow a garden, and I've had problems in the past. I like to have multiple types of like garden books. You'll see in here there's quite a few different ones, because they go about the information differently. And because when it comes to growing things, there's no one way to do it. Some work better than others in different situations. So that's how that is. All right. This book here, Field and Stream, the Total Outdoorsman Manual, came from a battle box a couple months ago. I didn't do the review on that box, unfortunately. I think I was sick with the flu. But a lot of basic information. There's a new topic on every page. So there's a lot in there. Good stuff. All right. Now, a buddy of mine is a huge Swiss Army fan. I don't have a Swiss Army knife. I have a lot of things like it. And here's that Ollie's logo, so you can see where I got it from. A lot of times when I did my reviews, they came from Ollie's, and I would just pull the stickers off. This has been on there so long, I wasn't going to even try. The regular price is $12.99. My price was $5, so that's not bad. I'm actually going to send this book to another creator who's a huge Swiss Army fanatic. I won't call him a competitor. We do a lot of the same things. His reviews are more of selling it. I'm doing a review of this is why I don't like it or why I do like it. So, you know, they're honest reviews, and he just does his reviews differently. Nothing wrong with that. We just have different ways of doing things. Sam Thayer's Field Guide at Edible Plants. You can see actually how far into this book I've gotten so far. And, look, apparently it's a Barnes & Noble book. But, so that's as far as I've read in the book. I've actually read the book. Just like when I was in school, in middle school and high school, where I read dictionaries and encyclopedias for fun. Not because I'm a nerd, but because I like to learn things I didn't know prior. There's a bushcraft book. I don't remember where I got this one from. This might be a Battle Box book. I don't remember. But still, good book. Before I get to those, I'm going to get a few more. Like up here, we have Purpose Financial Guide. So this is literally, it says strategies to invest, stockpile, and build security for today and post-collapse marketplace. With the way things are going right now with like tariffs, I'm not saying anything good or bad about my president, but our president as a country, books like this make you think about it. So, good read. Actually, I have that on audiobook. This one, Water for Survival. This I've actually learned quite a lot about for water. Sourcing, purification, things of that nature. It's also how I found out about if you have a roof that's 10 foot by 10 foot, we'll just say 10 foot by 10 foot square, so 100 square feet, and you had a single gutter on it, and you got 1 inch of rain. That 1 inch of rain will equate to 63.5 gallons of water. So that's good information. Prepare for Anything, Survival Manual, Outdoors Life. Outdoors Life makes a whole bunch of interesting books. This one, it's got all sorts of cool stuff in here, and we're going to go through them all. Also, it has some kind of cute little comics on the inside. So that's awesome. Right? Book on signing. Well, this is not a prepper book, is it? Well, it could be, because communication, especially communicating with people that may have problems communicating, it's a good book to learn. Now, how am I at sign language? I'm pretty horrible, especially since I have nobody really to practice with. But there's, look, last time I got into this book, I got up to, numbers, money, and math, and according to the paperwork in there, 2019. So I definitely have to go back to that. Another, Outdoors Life, Emergency Survival Manual, very much like that survival manual. Definitely written a little bit different. They're different main authors, and they don't have as much on comics, but really good information. Gray Man Tactics, Strategies of the Unseen and Unknown, the Art of Prepping. There's no pictures in here. So if you're expecting a book of pictures, there aren't any. But interesting book. Definitely an interesting book. 52 prepper projects. So you can do like a project a week is what they recommend by David Nash. I'm a big fan of self-reliance, even though in my current world, I don't have that kind of ability. I can't live off grid. I can't do a lot of things, but there are all sorts of things that I can practice or try, like cleaning and canning, and I have a couple of books on canning, fuel efficient rocket stove, all sorts of things. Really good book. So let's go to these four, right? First one, you'll notice that they say all blah, 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 wisdom and know-how. The first one I got on this was that one, country wisdom and know-how. Didn't like the title, but the information was really nice. It was really good. There are some pictures in here, but, so you'll see, I was looking something up and there's a bookmark there. Now, here's a little bit of a look on what's going on the inside. Look, what was I doing? How to carry a pack, traversing, but you may notice the font on here is really small. There's a lot of information in this book, and it's really small. So that yellow thing is a magnifying glass, which has two effects. One, easier to read. I gotta put this down because I can't do it at the same time. Bunch of survival equipment. Just a little Fresnel lens, which you can use for fire starting anyway. It also makes a really good bookmark. So we got that. I'll put this over here. Now, this one about home repair is interesting. So why would you want a book about home repair? Well, what happens when grid goes down or, the world is collapsing kind of thing, and you're alone in your house and you need to keep it going because it's your only place of shelter. They talk about all sorts of things, tile, kitchens and baths. Some of this is really old. Except they talk about some of the older meters in here. They do show some modern equipment in here, but not much. They talk about window sashes, some weird looking fans and such in here. It's a good starter book on home repair. But a lot of the stuff in that book is old, like those that used to have the lead weights to allow the windows to slide up and down. They talk about how to repair them, how to make them, interesting stuff like that. This was the second book I had gotten. Survival was third. Garden Wisdom and Know-How. Again, very tiny print. Very tiny print. And so there's a lot of stuff in here. They also talk like this one here. Perennials by care requirements. Long bloom, different kinds of perennials. All types of gardening, organic fertilizer catalog. So there's a lot of stuff in there too. Next we'll go to the original book I had gotten. Country Wisdom Know-How, which again, I don't like the title. So I'm not technically out in the country. 1,887 illustrations, diagrams, and photographs. Obviously, there's very little on that page, but again, magnifying glass. Got another one here about how to make different kinds of bread. Plants. There's a lot of gardening in here as well. Different kinds of cooking, raising ducks, barn renovations. There's all sorts of stuff in here. So, another really good book. Good bathroom readers. If you're a person that needs to be on the bowl a lot, that's a good book to read. All right, so now what? The Fast Track to Your Technician Class Ham Radio License. So there's 3 books in total. Technician class, there's an advanced class, and there's, I don't remember what the third one is. But going back about 20 years ago, I'm in my 40s, by the way, about 20 years ago, I I got licensed for ham radio. So I could use walkie-talkies, I could use ham radio, I could use CB. They're all different power ratings on that end. And I believe that license worked for like 10 years, 10 or 12 years, and then you'd have to recertify, and I didn't do that. So with everything going crazy and such, I want to learn it again. And I also have this on audiobook. So why would I have this on audiobook? Because clearly it's a book to learn how to pass a test. Because this is good till June 30th, 2026. So that's next year. So I got a little bit more than a year to go on those exam questions. Essentially, to be able to communicate legally. I mean, right now with El Presidente here in the U.S., I think that whole system is going to get gutted by the FCC or the FTC, Federal Communications Commission, FCC. That you may not need a license soon, or you need like a really advanced one. Depends on which way they want to go. So I don't know. So I'm going to learn it as best I can prior. Now, why do I need communications? We all have cell phones. I'm recording with a cell phone. Well, what happens when cell phones don't work? You're in an area that doesn't have cell signal. Or what if something happens like another Hurricane Helene, which wiped out the western side of North Carolina? Those people that didn't have any other way to communicate found people that had ham radios, whether in their trucks or in their person, like a walkie-talkie. They used a repeater off Mount Mitchell to communicate with rescuers. So you have something like this. Now, I am actually going to go through this and some other stuff having to do with communications in probably about 3 weeks. Now, you'll notice this has got a really long antenna on it. It's actually folded. It's, I think, 42 inches long, because where I live, getting any kind of reception here is a royal pain in the butt. So I've actually had really good luck with this. Even in its loop configuration, I can still get weather and some basic radio stations in this configuration. So that's cool. Now, what else? All right. Now, I said something about, well, what about canning? Right? Another Ollie's book for $7. Originally $18. Complete book of home canning, the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So, I like this because everything is in big bright colors and letters, so it's easy to read, even in low light conditions. So that's cool. What about, talk about self-sufficiency. Really good book, second edition. Self-sufficiency, a complete guide to baking, carpentry, crafts, organic gardening, preserving your harvest, raising animals, and more. Really, really good book. I don't remember if I did this one on my reviews prior. So I may have to go take a look, because I forget after a while, because I have so much stuff. But really good book. Love it. What else? These three over to make it a little easier. Next up, we have Emergency Preparedness and Off-Grid Communications by the Praying Medic. Now, I am probably one of the least religious people you'll know. So there's a whole bunch of like scripture and such in here that I read, but I'm not interested in. All right. So there's all sorts of interesting information here. The downside is there's very little on the way of emergency preparedness. It's almost all off-grid communications. But it's fun for a book. Next is New York Beat the Odds Survival Manual. This is another kind of a cool book that's got all sorts of cool pictures that people are going to love and easy to read. A lot of it's really interesting. It's good for kids. I also have this one, another Ollie's, $3.99 was originally 16 bucks. Best perennial for sun and shade, because where I live, we have mostly shade. So, really nice pictures in here. They talk about sage. There's all sorts of things in here about herbs and spices and things of that nature. And this has actually helped out a lot. So, good book. What else? Next, we got The Family Handyman and Hacks. Going on any DIY hacks. This is for if you're home, really, basic stuff you should know how to do, kind of. Know how to paint faster, how to make sticks, ways to cut metal, things you should know how to do. Like, I actually like this for the cabinet dividers. I gotta do that one of these days. And there's some plans in here, how to make a blade holder for off a bucket, drawers, secret hiding spaces was also one of the things I did like a lot. Handy camping kit, which I actually have something similar to this elsewhere. Mine's in a roll bag, though. I also have another Outdoor Life Extreme Weather Survival Manual. And again, if you like pictures, great pictures. How to make a rocket stove, thunderstorms, gustnados. A lot of really good information in here about pretty much weather. Right? So what else? And remember, this is just the beginning of the books I have. I think most of these other ones I have on the bed here are Composting for New Generation. I think was the last one I did. Nuclear War Survival Skills. Build Your Own Farm Tools, which is really good if you're homesteading. That's also really good. 40 projects for building your backyard homestead. So, another great book. Backyard Cookbook. Backcountry Cookbook. One of the first ones I did. The Joy of Keeping a Root Cellar. This one I don't think I've showed you. This is the Hobby Farms, the Community Gardening Handbook. And my community won't do that here, because they're all a bunch of persons that I don't like to talk to sometimes. But how to make sheds, watering, planting, sharing. If shit hits the fan and you got to create a new community, might be a good book to have. Might be. At least give you a basic idea. Complete Guide to Edible Wild Plants, Department of Army. This is actually an old battle box book. That's good. Hydroponic Garden Secrets, which is, it's not bad. It's got some basic ideas and concepts if you want to learn about hydroponics. Grow and Eat, Fruit, Vegetables, and Herbs. I'll use this was $1.99 instead of 15 bucks. Also has a whole bunch of recipes on the inside. It's actually almost all recipes, and there's a little bit of information on fruits and such in the beginning. So, basically, this is just a small pile of books that I use for my own knowledge, my own education, to learn about how to handle what life wants to throw at me. So, again, knowledge is power. I'm a huge fan of it. You don't have to be the smartest, you don't have to be the brightest bulb in the tool shed, if you want to call it that way. I know that's mixing the words up, but everybody's good at something. Some people are good at everything. I am not one of those people. I need to work hard and learn how to do things. Now, some of these stuff in these books we're going to be doing in the future. We're going to be taking parts of the book, even the cookbook, and we're going to go make some. We're actually going to do one of the projects that are in it, whether it be a recipe or a garden project or even one of the prepper projects. Something in here. We're going to try it and learn from it. Me and you. And if these don't get any views, not a big deal. I'm still going to produce them because somebody somewhere might be interested. Actually, somebody in the last couple of days was actually interested in a book I did 2.5 years ago. And was nice enough to leave a comment. So, nobody, when you see this on Amazon, I did 2 prepper projects. I think I got this from Amazon. It gives you like a blurb about it, and that's it. And then you have to look it up online where, if anybody's done reviews on it. Nobody's done reviews on it. And then it comes to people like myself that are not using it as filler on their channel. I mean, a little bit. I am using it as filler on the channel to get my video count up a little bit. But mainly to show people what's in the book as a review, and to talk about stuff that's in it that people may not understand or know. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I could always look it up. All right. So that's about it. That is it for tonight. This is Thursday, and questions, comments, leave them below, and I will get to them as soon as I can. It's taking me longer and longer to do them because I get so many comments in email. Email is my preferred way, but email doesn't give me traffic on my channel. But it's an easy way to be relatively anonymous, and not have other people laugh at you for weird questions. So that's it. Again, questions, comments, leave them below or email me. It's okay. And hopefully, eventually, one of the authors or publishers will reach out to me. But I doubt it at this point because it's been over a year. And it's been almost 2 years. And I guess that's it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. But figure next Thursday I'll probably do a book, and then I have to decide if I want to do it every week or every other week. So if you subscribe, you'll get notifications when a book drops. That's it. Thank you for watching. Have a glorious night.